Welcome to another video from Dark Days Radio, and this is a Dark Iron episode where we are going to kind of decompress from Lock and Load EU, which is the first Steamforged Games EU War Machine event held in Sheffield at the Magna Science Centre. So I was privileged enough to be sent a free VIP ticket to get in. That got us a lovely swag bag, which we'll talk about later. The Magna Science Centre, if you're going to come along for next year, because it's definitely going to be happening, it's an easily accessible location both to drive to, or you can take the tram from the train station. It is dead easy to get to Sheffield. If you're coming from London or from Birmingham, you're all the way up on the M1. From Manchester, you can easily hop on a train and go over the Pennine and have a very nice, scenic train journey. And if you're coming from the north, again, easily down the M1. So it's really accessible. Also, the thing to say is if you're going to come to Sheffield, you're going to be staying in Sheffield for a bit of time because it's a 3-day event, and you're not playing wall-to-wall games all evening. You can use your time because Sheffield is a really foodie city to explore. So by all means do that. What can we say about the Magna Science Centre? So you're going to start seeing images of the entrance. Maybe I'll put up a photo of the outside. It's an old kind of foundry. Inside, you can also, if you have the time, if you want to make the time, you can go see some of the displays and exhibits. I didn't, but I'm going to go back on another day and do that. And in there, it's really like you're, as I said, walking into the heart of the Iron Kingdoms. You're going into a big foundry where warjacks and machines of war are being built. And this is also, let's just say, this is also the location that's used for things like HorrorCon. So it is a well-practiced event space for large events like that. And, of course, War Machine. So we had there the Steamforged Games team there, so thank you China for letting me come along and take some video and do some painting, and also for the other influencers you invited along, Elder XXM, Hellstorm Mikey, and his partner. We've got Stu, the narrative painter. We had Maz from the Black Cantina there. And Lady Latifah Kenda, who is part of my YouTube series, she is also there. She picked up her old Umbre that she ordered, and I was able to give her a set of dice. We had Monstrous Makings also there with less to sell but to show off, and also to see what people want in the forms of tokens for the game and other third-party things. Baron of Dice had, well, not there themselves, there were dice and their tape measure system where you can click in your own faction symbols into it. So there was a lot of stuff there. We had some really new releases that we hadn't seen that had been teased before. So we had Old Scuttlebutt, the new Troll Blood super heavy war beast, which is for the Brine Blood faction. We also could see a large amount of the range for the Kithguard for the Trollkin, and Matt using the studio paint job Fortress King in games. There should be pictures and videos of that going on. That was fantastic to see in person. We also got to see a teaser of the new Fane of Nero faction, and then thanks to the day after, because obviously we had the whole reveal preview event on the Friday evening, because they moved it because Eurovision's on the Saturday. Then in the cabinets was pretty much the whole range of these vampire elves that are in the game setting. We also learned a lot more about them, which I'm going to talk about in a bit after I talk about the event space itself. So Sherwin was running some lore seminars. For me and some of us, is old. We know this, but there were some teasers and some other interesting things said, which I'm going to talk about. There was also sculpting seminars. There were painting seminars by Matt Hart, CEO of Steamforged Games. We also had painting seminars by Spen from Spen's Painting. And also from Hellstorm Mikey. I had the joy of also sitting those two down and running for them a demo of War Machine, so they're probably onboarded with the game. Mikey, he used to play ages back with Crix, so he used my Crix, and he was like, aha, it's the same, just about. And for Spen, it's a brilliant way of, he being new to the game, it was a real joy to see how he clicked with the game and, you know, the dynamism of War Machine and why we like it. So for the day, for people participating, there's a steamroller tournament, there is the Iron Gauntlet tournament, there is also the more casual games using the Frontlines gaming pack, and then you can just do casual pickup games, which is also fun, and also the narrative game, which was this big train going through, and defenders were trying to, let's go through. The attackers, the bad guys, were trying to defend the train, defend the caches that were slowing down the train, whereas the attackers were trying to destroy the crates, the caches in the way, so the train could move unimpeded. And it was just a complete, brawl, absolute grind down to the last end. And that was replayed a couple of times over the weekend. Also on sale then were the new starter for the Fane of Nero, Old Scuttlebutt, and a few other miniatures that had not yet been released yet, so they were on preview, and they're also on pre-order from Steamforged Games. So go over to the website now and you can get hold of that, and then come back here, because now I'll show you some video getting into the event and what it was like, and the fact that also as an event, well lit, lots of space around the gaming tables. It didn't seem really oppressive, like the sound dampening was really good, so you could actually talk and not lose your voice, which for once is so good for me, who talks a lot, as you know. And so now you're back here, having gone pre-ordered your stuff. Let's talk lore. So, where are we with the Iron Kingdom? So, we had the State of the Iron Kingdoms, which you can get into, which of course, where we're up to now with the Orgoth invasion, if you're up to date with things, is that they had pushed in on the coast of Kador, also pushing in on Ord, and a little bit on Signar. Those borders have moved over, and the Orgoth now have taken and surrounded and besieging the capital of Ord. So more forces are being drawn in from Kador, from Lael, the Crucible Guard, from Signar, with the Storm Legion and the Trenchers. We're also getting their allies from the Empire of Eternal Dusk in the form of House Callus, who are undead vampires but using technological warfare in the form of their warjacks. So those forces coming in. We've also got some allies from Rule, obviously. Against them is the forces of Crix, the forces of the Cephalax, who have some hives, and the Orgoth themselves. All of it was all ropey, shaky alliances. Meanwhile, the Dawn Guard, who are living elves, the remnant of the retribution of Syra, they're off out east, having chased the Scorn back across the abyss. And the Pharaoh, they're doing well. We've got the Gatormen in Blind Water, which are becoming more of a cult around their nascent god. He's a demigod right now with Bloody Barnabas. And what about the Protector of Menoth? Because we saw miniatures of them. So we are getting teased the fact that while they're the Protectorate, their lands that remain and who remain there is obviously devastated by the Infernal Invasion. They are reforming slowly. So these are the traditional zealots. So we're going to be seeing a traditional Menite army. Now, of course, how they fit into things, I think, will be, from my, obviously, writing for the RPGs, I have some insight. I don't know really where Sherwin and the guys going with this. I won't know until we start doing some more writing on the RPG. Oh, which is coming, of course. Early days, but plans are in motion. What can we say about the Menites? So, while they're going to be zealous and kind of, again, still hating on Signar and on Morrow and Thamar, obviously, Signar itself is more accommodating of other faiths, And so perhaps the Menite will be a nice zealous force to throw into the ancient enemy of the Orgoth. So there's still a force to be reckoned with, and supposedly someone notable is coming back to lead them. So that's the Protectorate. Now, let's get into the Fane of Nero, because we also had a lore seminar, at the end of Sunday, which covered the Fane of Nero. So the Fane of Nero, and forgive me, I can't remember all the different names, all the different characters, but they have existed for millennia because they forsaken of the gods. They when the elven gods arrived on Cairn, creating the abyss as a result, destroying the old elven lands, and living with their children, the elves. Then they went off because they discovered that they were dying, and so were the elves. Obviously, traveling lands to find out how they could correct this problem. Of course, we know that does not end well because they are being sought out by the Infernals, and of course, Thamar makes her deal for the gift of magic for humans. One group, the Fane of Nero, a temple to the god Nero. Yeah. Anyway, they lie and say that their god had come back home, and they were talking with divine right on behalf of the gods, and therefore had the right to rule the kingdom of Eos. That got found out. Their fane got banished, destroyed, but they drove them underground, and in the process they figured out how to enclose their soul and cut it off from the gods, because elves and their gods are very intimately tied in a way that humans and Menoth are not. The end result, and that's why elves are very advanced in some ways, but also very fragile. And so that group of elves goes off. Having enclosed their souls, they become the first Eldritch, millennia before things go south in the Kingdom of Dusk and the gods are finally killed. So there they are, underground for millennia, building their armies, learning what it means to be Eldritch. And so they are the ones coming back with their bat-like creatures and so forth, because they believe, as Eldritch, seeing what has now happened to the kingdom of Eos, that is now the Empire of Eternal Dusk, they see it as their right to rule directly over this new Eldritch kingdom, because they have the most experience of being Eldritch. They are vampire life force draining. They don't drink blood, they drain life force. They are experts in this. So that's where they come from. That's their relationship with it. They're acting through one of the houses within the Empire of Eternal Dusk, kind of a front for it. It's kind of known by the other houses, but not yet. They are clearly going to have a certain relationship, an opinion on the Orgoth and the Cricks, because of course they are ancient and they will have an enmity against the Orgoth. Like, you know, it's about souls, it's about life force, it's about essence. They want to control the world. They are egotistical vampires. So that's where we're going with that. We're going to see I asked the question again, are we going to see certain things that we've seen in the roleplay game related to elves in play for this faction? So like the Riven, the ghosts of elven priests who took form when their gods, the first batch, died. So I don't want to go fully into this because this is all going to come out in interstitial lore. I'm just giving you a brief overview, as it were, a communication from the front lines. The other thing we learned is that the elven gods, this isn't their first rodeo in making a race. Suspicions are confirmed because, of course, there is one faction which, in some respects, has elements to them that is quite similar to the Fane of Nero, with the life force draining. Now, let's have a look at our culprits there. Is it the Orgoth? Nah. They're Infernalists. Fane of Nero will hate them, because I think even though they lock their souls away from their gods, I'm sure they're still not happy that the Orgoth and the Infernals were after the Elven gods. So, not them. The Infernals, no, we can forget about them. Same deal. Cricks, nah. They'll see them as rivals. Two rivaling undead-like, life force draining factions. Definitely game notices game. So who does that leave us with? Oh, who is out east? The Scorn. Yes. The Scorn were the first attempt by the Elven gods to make a mortal race of followers, believers, on the realm of Cairn who would pray to them. So the Scorn didn't kill their gods. They were abandoned. So when this, I'm sure, this tidbit of information, mostly known by the Eldritch, by the Fane of Nero, gets out, well, the Scorn will have even more reason to hate the House Carlis and the Fane of Nero, as they represent the lucky ones. Even though they've killed their gods or they forsook them or whatever, they are still the children, the chosen children of the Elven gods. And I'd be pretty spiteful about that. I'm pretty jealous about that situation. So that is the reveals. And of course, our roadmap going forward, we're going to see some of these super heavies coming out. Obviously, we've got Fane of Nero coming out, and Pharaoh has been extended on their release on My Mini Factory because December time, we also, as we had from the preview, we are going to see the Black Fleet of Crix. We are going to see Scar and Captain Rengrave and Ghosty Pirate Undead. So that is super exciting. Oh God, that's another Crix army I might want to collect. Damn. But I get to paint ghosties if that's hopefully what we're going to get. These previews some designs of those. That's great. And obviously, if we talk about the roleplay game, what can we say? Just further confirmation. We're going back to the 2d6 system. Of course, acknowledging there are things that have been learnt over time with that system, where it's, you know, issues are and creaking and clunkiness, which we will, well, which I hope Steam Fortune, hopefully working upon it, I will get a chance to be involved in addressing those concerns, plus where the RPG will then fit within the timeline and how it interacts with the War Machine game in general. So that's everything from the front lines, as it were, for me, from Lock and Load EU. There are videos of the tournament gameplay. You can go see the preview, go on social media, go look at the works of things by like Spen, by Hellstorm Mikey. They've got some stuff on social media. We'll be seeing more from them. I believe Mikey picked up pretty much most of the Crix range, so it's going to be great to see him painting up stuff. He's down the road from me. Definitely want to get in some more games with him. Just wonderful to see him click with the game again. Again with Spen, it'll be great to just go down and just get more locked into the gameplay of it. Stu, narrative painter, again, want to chat to him more about it. He seems to be loving it as well. And that is it for now. So things that are coming up, I'm mostly going to talk to Kendra about her experience of Lock and Load, because it's her first time there, and more experience of War Machine, her being fairly new to it all. So that's going to be great. And then onwards from that, we've got more of our Tale for Warcasters to chat about, because now everyone has got minis. It means everyone can start painting and talking about their paint schemes and what they're liking about the models that they've chosen for their factions. So that's really good fun. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Steamforge Games, as always. You will see me, I will get this edited out. You will see me on their booth at Lock and Load at UK Games Expo. I will be demoing games all day there. So come learn War Machine there. And you'll see a picture. You'll see the picture of the what is it? VIP goodie bag, swag bag. So there's some cool stuff in there. Posters, they're going to be in the wall behind me, somewhere here, to make this a bit more exciting. So I'm going to have to reframe that camera so we can see some cool War Machine art in the background more often. But that's it. So thank you for watching and goodbye.